Guys, it's me, Trudy Lee. How's everybody doing? I am doing just fine as long as I'm staying in the house. It's getting hot again. We had a little bit of cool weather and some rain, and I went outside this morning just to let the dogs out, and I've been letting the kitty out on the deck, and now she won't walk out there by herself. She wants me to pick her up and bring her out there. That's the only time she really lets me hold her. She's like, "Bring me outside." So I've been bringing her outside on the deck, and she loves it, but she just cries to go out there. She's just like meow, meow, let me out. But the good thing is, when I open the door, she won't dare run out the door. She hangs back. She won't go over the threshold. I'm so glad. Or it could be a problem. When the gates open, she could, go run under the deck, which she's done before. She's gotten out through a window, and I had a hard time luring out from under the deck. I don't want to do that again. So I keep her on the deck. Okay. So you guys, when I did my last reading, when I did the last recording for you guys, this shooting was happening. This Uvalde shooting was happening. This is maybe an hour and a half away from me, something like that, maybe a little less. And the grandmother of the shooter, the one that was shot in the face, she's here in San Antonio in the hospital. I'm only like 15 minutes from San Antonio, so you know, it's the bigger metropolitan area next to me because Bulverde's so little. If you sneezed when you drove by it, you would miss it. Very, very small. Also, two of the I don't know if they've been released. I haven't watched any news today, y'all, but two of the other children that had been shot. One of them was supposedly in very, I think, critical condition, and one of them was in very good condition. They're in the hospital in San Antonio also. And then did you hear about the little boy that played dead? That he just um, put some blood on him, I think, for his, and laid with the bodies of his schoolmates and didn't get killed. Don't y'all know his parents are so grateful for that? It's such a horrific thing. And, I was talking about at that, the last recording, I was talking about that we're getting all these wake up calls. We're getting all this, the light is shining on the darkness. And this is one of those things. This is the darkest of the darkest. If a child's death doesn't wake you up, what the hell? What the hell? We need gun reform. You know, Nobody needs those AK-47s. Now I know people are avid hunters. They want a gun. A, a gun that keep on your person when you're walking around. What is that for? Are you planning on shooting somebody with it? If you're not hunting and you have a gun, then you want to play target practice on a person. You know what? My husband was parking a car at Costco. Actually, we were coming out of Costco. We were in our car, and there was a man behind us in a car, and we were trying to pull out. We were trying to leave. This is the truth, y'all. This happened, and my husband honked at him, and he just wouldn't move. And we were just sitting there, sitting there. We're like, why isn't he moving? And my husband was like, well, hell, I'm going to go tell him something. And I said, stay in the car, just stay in the car. And he was like, hell no, I'm going to go find out. He was mad. And so he aggressively got out of the car, and he went up to that car that was parked behind us, and a man put a gun right at his chest, right at his chest. And he called him a name, and, he called him some kind of slur. I don't know. He thought he was an Indian, native. I forget what, but it was some kind of ethnic uh, slur. I don't know what it is, but I don't know. He thought my husband was going to pull him out of the car and kill him because he was behind us. My husband wanted to know, why aren't you moving? That's all he wanted to know. My husband got back in the car. I did not see that happen, but I did not want him to get out of the car. I begged. I said, don't get out of the car. Don't get out of the car. But he did. Guns are just lead to more violence. Guns are no good, y'all. They are no good. And did y'all see Beto, whatever, however you want to call his name, Beto? He confronted Greg Abbott when they had that little Uh, y'all seen it on TV whenever they were gonna, have a meeting there, and he goes up to him and he tells him, "You are doing nothing, nothing. You said this wasn't predictable. This was totally predictable when you chose to do nothing." And I think it was last year, Abbott signed into law that Texans no longer need a permit to carry a gun. So my husband had a permit to carry a gun. He had to go through training to carry a gun. And he also, that you go through a background check with law enforcement to be able to get this permit. So it's all a good thing. It's a really, really good thing that you need a permit to carry a gun. My husband didn't even have a gun. He didn't even have a gun. I don't know why he wanted this permit, but he wanted a permit in case he wanted a gun. He had a gun years ago. When our first grandbaby was born, I'm going to tell y'all another story. When our first grandbaby was born, I said, "You're getting rid of that gun. You're going to get rid of it. I don't want this gun in the house or anything. There's no reason for it." We were jewelers, and we would, we'd be coming from our jewelry store back and forth, and so he had a gun because we traveled and we had to go back home. And some people were followed. We would go to shows with our jewelry and then have to pack it up and put it in the car and everything. We would have an armed security guard help us put it in the car, but then after we left, we're on our own. So he had a gun, and there was a good reason for it back then, but he didn't carry it on him. He left it in the car, and he didn't have a permit back in those days. It was a long time ago, but he had this gun from those days. We weren't jewelers anymore when the first grandbaby was coming, and I told him, "You need to get rid of that gun. I don't want to see that gun in this house. I don't want it." And it wasn't even in the house, but I was like, "Get rid of it." And he gave it to one of his good friends that wanted it. He was there actually when I was telling him, "You need to get rid of it." And he's like, "I'll take it." So my husband said, "Okay, you can have it." So it was gone. Well, after that conversation, my daughter, my middle daughter, she admitted something to me. This was a long time ago. Of course, this is over 20 years ago. She said, "I got into Dad's car one day. He had a Suburban." She said, "I got into his Suburban, and he had his gun in one of those little pouches that zip up, that's lined with fur. He had a pouch like that, and he had his gun inside the pouch, but it was loaded, and it was in his glove compartment of his car." She said, "I got in there one day. It was she said, and I started going through, and I found the gun." And she said, "I unzipped it. I held the gun in my hand. I looked at it and everything, and then I put it back up." And we never knew that. That was horrifying for me. Horrifying. So I'm so glad that we got rid of the gun. Guns are just, you know, to me, they're just to take lives. They're a tragedy waiting to happen. Now, I know a lot of you guys are proponents of guns. I'm totally against guns. My husband still has, like I said, some rifles if he ever gets to go hunting again. He's only probably been hunting twice since we've been married, honestly. And but he does have, I think, a shotgun, a 410, something like that. So he's got two rifles that I know of, and um, you know, they're sitting in the closet. Nobody ever touches them. They're not loaded. Anyway, oh my gosh, y'all. I just want to. I'm just so upset about this. The guns. Something's got to give. And I'm going to take a look at that in a minute. I'm going to do a little reading and see if this is going to change things, because I did hear that now both Republicans and Democrats are coming together and they're starting to talk. So I told y'all, that things are going to keep happening and happening until we get united. And, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I'm just so sad. It's so horrible. God bless every single person affected by this senseless crime. My prayers and my heart goes out to every parent and grandparent and teacher and friend and colleague and loved one that's affected by this crime. It's so horrible and so senseless. Did you hear about the teacher's husband that he went and put flowers and then he died right afterwards? He went and put flowers where they were all, I don't know, they were putting flowers all down at this place, and he brought the flowers there, and then right after that he had a heart attack and he died. And they said he died of a broken heart. He was so sad. Their 25th anniversary was coming up, and yeah, it was just a little more than he could take. A little more than he could take. It's so sad. All right, guys. Also, I mean, really makes the Johnny Depp trial look so petty compared to what's going on with this. I don't even want to watch any more TV and hear any more about what's going on. They say that the police officers did not enter the building, that they did not go after him. They waited for some reinforcements to come. They waited for 1 hour. He went to 4 classrooms. Classrooms. They were too afraid of getting shot. I mean, can you believe it? And the parents were telling them, go in there. They said that I saw some parent ran into the building and got their child out. She's like, they should have just let the parents go in there. Give the parents a gun and let them go. Let them go in there. You're too afraid to do your job. You're scared of getting shot. That's your job. That's what you've been paid for all this time, was to put your life on the line. And then when it comes down to putting your life on the line, you're going to wait for some backup. Come on. Gosh, I'm so upset about it all, you guys. I'm really upset about everything. Okay. So like I said, it makes the Johnny Depp trial just pale. Now, I know we've all been riveted by it because it's so salacious, and it's kind of a departure from anything else going on in our lives. And, we get to be spectators into somebody else's grief and life. But this is, this is a lot more important than a Johnny Depp trial. Put it that way. It's a lot more important. Okay, y'all, I just gave myself a headache. I feel so strongly about everything. It just gives me a headache just thinking about it. So I'm going to take out my cards and do a little reading, and I'm going to take a look and see, if there's going to be any gun reform, if this is going to lead to any gun reform, if our legislatures are going to get together. And I haven't taken out my cards yet. I need to. They're in my desk here. Got it right here. All right. I'm going to shuffle them up for a minute. Okay, I shuffled my cards and I laid quite a few of them out. So I'm going to read them to you. I went question by question. The first thing I want to know is this going to reform our laws, our gun laws? So, will this result in reforming our gun laws? Is this the beginning of doing that? So I want to take a look at that. Hopefully it will. This is the first card that I pulled. It's 5 of Pentacles. We're in the throes of all this pain, this pain and sadness and hurt. We haven't even started seeing the funerals for these children yet or anything. So I feel like they're kind of waiting for all this hurt to pass a little bit. You know what I mean? This is the time to get it done when we're in the throes of the pain. But I feel like, our legislatures are kind of trying to hang back a little bit and let this pass. That's what they do all the time. They try to let things pass. They're like, this is temporary. It's going to go away. People are going to forget about it. Yeah, like we forgot about Sandy Hook, right? And all the other shootings. So I feel like they're, acting like they're doing something. They're getting together and they're kind of, they're talking and everything, but they're kind of seeing if things will pass, what will happen. I hate to say that. This is 9 of Wands. So we're not going to give up. We're going to keep fighting. Okay. So there's, the Democrats that are there, they're, very few Democrats take anything from the NRA. I looked it up and saw that, I think under $10,000 between the Senate and the House. That's what I saw. I don't know if that's completely true because I read it on the internet. But of course, with the NRA gives the Republicans so much money. Do y'all know who gets the most money? Mitt Romney, $13 million. Can you believe it, Mitt Romney? And I almost liked him. I almost liked him. He's been the voice of reason many, many times, but he gets $13 million for the NRA. Oh my gosh. Why? Why? I don't know. Anyway, Mitch McConnell, I think he gets like 2.2 million, something like that. You know, there's people that get a little more, and there's people that get a lot less. But the Democrats, they don't really get much of anything at all. Anyway, uh, got to fight. We're not gonna give up. We're gonna keep fighting, fighting, fighting to get this legislation through, and that's what we need to do. Stand up and keep fighting, and we're not gonna give up. We will not give up. This is not going to be temporary. That's what they're hoping, that this is temporary. We're saying no, it's not going to be temporary. We're going to continue to fight on this. So this may continue through the midterms, and hopefully this will help a lot of people vote blue in the midterms to get this changed. Okay, that's what I'm seeing here. Knight of Swords. So yes, there is change coming, y'all. So that is so good. This is the moment that really galvanizes everyone. So if it doesn't galvanize our legislators, it galvanizes the people. And we are going to keep fighting for the change that we want. Nobody needs to own an AK-47. Nobody. Nobody needs to own military grade weapons. Nobody. Nobody should have them, especially an 18-year-old. Knight of Wands. There are some brave Republicans out there that are willing to risk their careers and vote for gun reform. There are some, and it's we need to grab them while we can. So it looks like this is going to happen at some point. It looks like it's coming along, and I feel like this is the beginning of gun reform. This is going to happen. Okay, so good, good. Yay. All right, next question. I don't even want to ask this, but I think it needs to be asked. Are we going to see another shooting? Are we going to see another school shooting? And of course, whenever we're doing a reading like this, we're not looking at it like from all time ever, 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 but we're looking at into the energy that we're reading now, into the very near future. So are we going to see any more school shootings in the near future? That's the way I'm going to couch that, okay? So the first card that I pulled is Ten of Pentacles. This is telling me that we have a very strong foundation, okay, that is going to be built upon, and it's going to give some protection to the schools. I don't know exactly what they're going to do. And this is what I keep seeing, y'all. I don't know if they're going to do this, but I feel like many schools will do this. When they build schools now, they're going to build them with a fence all the way around the school, a fence around the parking lot, so that you have to have a sticker on your car, just like a lot of places, a lot of parking permits that are needed to go into buildings. You've got to, have a permit on to park in that, parking lot, or you can't park. And I think that's what's going to happen. There's going to be things like that going on, where if you want to get to the school, you got to go through a security gate, be let in. The gate could be open, but they can have a security guard there and make sure everybody has a sticker on their car, and that will really help. If somebody is standing there watching every car that comes in, that will help a lot. Okay, and I feel like there's going to be some, like I said, this is just the start. This is the beginning, and it looks like to me that a lot of different security measures are going to be put into place. that will help protect these schools. So this is a foundation that is growing and building upon. Yes, it's going to be, we're going to be happy about that. So this is Nine of Cups. And like I said, I feel like they're going to be taking the steps that are needed to prevent another shooting from happening anytime soon. Okay. I feel very optimistic. So this makes me feel really good. This is a good feeling. It's a very good feeling that the schools will be protected, that there's, like I said, steps that are being taken to make sure that this doesn't happen again. Now, I know all the kids in the school, if you are interviewing them, they're saying they've had drills. All of them said, we've had drills. We've learned what to do if a shooter comes. But something happened at that school where the doors were all unlocked and the classrooms didn't lock down, and, things didn't work as they were supposed to. So I feel like there's going to be some reform in those regards too, because no matter what, even if tomorrow they said nobody's allowed to have a gun, there's so many guns here. There's a lot more guns than there are people. So even if a gun law was passed saying you can't carry a gun anymore, that wouldn't stop somebody from carrying a gun. You know what I mean? It would help. It would help a lot. But there still needs to be other added measures of protection. That's what I'm getting. And I feel like, yes, I'm on the right track there. I feel good about saying that, and I think that that's the truth. Um, yeah, this is a good feeling that they're going to take care of business, basically. Okay. The last card I pulled on this is the Justice card. So the Justice card here is like, it's karma. It's like, it's cause and effect, right? Cause and effect. So this is the scales of justice. They're always balanced. So when we focus on a remedy, when we focus on a problem, when we focus on trying to get things better, then we'll be able to do that. So if we're finding ways of eliminating these massacres, we'll be successful in doing that. We will be able to do that. We will be able to prevent schools from, getting all shot up, basically. We're going to be able to do that. When you ignore a problem, then the result is, this, what we've seen. So this is cause and effect. All right. So I feel like, yes, we're going to address the problem and be able to eliminate it in the very near future. Whenever you do a reading, you can do a reading 2 months later and get something a little bit different, because there's free will with everybody and things can change. So we're reading the energy now. So right now, everybody wants to prevent this. Everybody's focused on that. And that's a good thing. It's a really good thing. As they're focused on it, that will prevent it, because everybody is going to be locked down doing what they're supposed to do, instead of, for it's the end of the school year, everybody's got their mind on other things. Now they're redirected. The schools are all redirected. So I feel like it's going to help other schools from not, there was somebody arrested in Seguin, a boy that made a threat. He was arrested. I heard about another kid that had what was it? I think he had a gun in his car, and they asked him, do you have a gun in your car? He said no, and they went and looked in his car, and he had a gun in his car, and I guess he had been a big mouth about it. Now, kids are getting smarter nowadays. When they hear kids talking, they're turning them in, thank God. Okay. Last question I'm going to ask is about the NRA. So the NRA has a big meeting, y'all know, in Houston. They act like it's a big party. Guns are a big party. Oh yeah, Texas, we got our guns. We're gonna have a big party. We've got a bunch of country and western singers. You guys, a bunch of those country and western singers, a bunch of the singers have said, I ain't going. There's actually a lot of legislators, a lot of senators and stuff. I think Lieutenant of Texas, he's not going. So there's a lot of people that have decided this is not a good time to have this meeting. course, the NRA, they haven't had a meeting for the last couple of years because of COVID. And now they're like, oh, we going to have a meeting. We don't care. We're going to have a meeting. So it's still on. And of course, the number one speaker there is Trump. Wouldn't you know it? Wouldn't you know it? So, I just want to take a look. Will we, I want us to know, will we get the NRA out of politics? It's got no business being in politics. What the hell, y'all? What the hell? They have no business being, I mean, I'm looking at it, with my heart, and I feel like they don't have any business being in politics at all. At all. What the hell does a gun have to do with it? We're not in the Wild West anymore, y'all. You don't need to walk around with your gun all the time. Come on, people. Jeez. Okay. I pulled 4 cards on that too. So, is the NRA ever going to get out of politics? Anytime soon, anyway. Page of Cups. Um, I think this tells me that there is somebody there that is going to propose something like that. Probably a Democrat, maybe a liberal, to get the NRA out of politics. They're gonna, it's gonna be brought up for sure, and to make it illegal to receive money from them. So there's going to be a proposal on the table about it. I don't know if it's going to make it to a bill, but let's take a look. The Emperor. I feel like this is the old guard, and they don't really they don't want change, they really don't. They're, they can't, their hearts can be a little bit hardened, you know what I mean? They're not looking at it through the eyes of a mother that's lost her child. They look at it very black and white, you know what I mean? So they're kind of cold when it comes to um, making these kind of radical changes that, it it means that they're going to get shortchanged of money. So for them, money is power, power is money, and they don't want, to lose any of their money. They really don't. So that's how their logic works. It's all about money and power and, staying in power. That's the old guard, I think. Doesn't look good, y'all. Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords. So this is a woman that, yes, she's going to be able to do, she will try to do anything that she can to, encourage a vote, encourage support to getting the NRA out. She's going to support new laws. She's going to constantly remind everybody of all the children's lives that were lost. You know what I mean? She's going to be constantly pulling at the heartstrings of everybody to kind of put forth this legislation, this new, um, new legislation, I guess. I don't know. So let's see, but we'll go all the way through. This is the Chariot card. So we're going to see some changes for sure, but I feel like there's going to be some limits on how far it gets. You know what I mean? So, and it could also be limits on the donations that the NRA is able to make. Maybe they won't be able to give $13 million to one senator, And this is a start, and this is very, very good. So this is a start of change. I don't think the NRA is going to be completely out. I wish they were, but I do feel like this is a change, and there's some limitations are going to be put forth for sure. It's hard to stamp something out all at once, but change comes. When change, just like the foundation, there's this, strong foundation for change, and you just build upon it, build upon it, build upon it. And I think that's what's going to happen here. So we might not see the NRA out of our politics yet, but we will see some limitations put on it. And that's a good start. So if that's what you'd like to see, I know that's what I would like to see in the midterms. Vote blue. If you're not happy with what's going on right now, you're not happy with gas prices, you're not happy with inflation, and your rent or your house payment or all, you've got to buy a new car and the cars are ridiculously priced. You're not happy with it. So you want to go vote for a Republican. Do you think that's really going to help anything at all? If we had more Democrats in office, we'd be able to get things done. The reason why things aren't getting done and the reason why things are so high is because we have the Republicans obstructing every good thing that Biden wants to do. All they do is obstruct. If we have more people in the House and the Senate that will vote Democrat and get these laws passed and get things changed, we can, have new laws on the books for guns. We can do gun control. We can have women's rights restored here in Texas, especially. And that's what we need. So you guys, I know I should be impartial, but I live in a Texas state where all Republicans are here, and I'm very Democratic. So I'm just putting my, you know, thoughts and opinions out along with my reading. Please forgive me, but I feel like sometimes it's really necessary. It really is. It can help galvanize people and just bring them together. So you guys, when you talk to your friends and your family, we all have friends that are Republicans. When you speak with them, tell them we have got to get change. We've got to save our children. We've got to save them. We've got to save the babies. Please vote blue so we can protect our children. Okay, guys, thank you so much for listening to me and putting up with me today. I really appreciate it. I have to get off my soapbox now. I probably will do a reading on Johnny Depp. I've seen a few days of testimony with them. I didn't watch the whole 6-week trial, that's for sure. I've probably watched, I've watched when she testified and when Johnny testified and a couple of doctors, and that's about it. I missed a lot of it, but I'm glad I did because I didn't want to be riveted for 6 weeks. That's for sure. But I did listen to the closing arguments and I did watch the cross examination of Amber Heard and all. It was pretty good, pretty interesting. So I think I'm going to do a reading on that and just see, hopefully before the jury comes back with a verdict. They say that they probably need 2 or 3 days to go through all the material, and so it'll probably Wednesday or Thursday before we get a verdict on them. But you never know. Hey, they may be sick to death of hearing it. 6 weeks, but you would think that after 6 weeks of testimony, you want to make sure that you're, you know, all on the same page and get a good solid vote. So we'll see what happens. Okay, guys. If you'd like to get a reading with me, look down below. I'm going to leave as usual, I leave my email down below if you would like to do, anything. If you need chakra balancing, you'd like to get a reading. What else? Healing. If you would like to be on my healing list, I am happy to do that for you. I do it for animals too. I have a lot of animals that are on the healing list and gotten really good results with them too. Okay, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. I love you guys. I see all your comments. I was going to say I listen to y'all, but I read all your comments. I don't always get to um, comment back on all of them because I just can't go through all of them. But I try to put a little heart and let you know that I have read them and I do read them. And they come across my phone too, so I'm reading them. I might be watching the news and reading your comment at the same time, but thank you so much for them. I appreciate it. Guys, continue to pray for all the victims and all their families of the shooting. Just let's pray for them. I just can't even imagine what their families are going through. So God bless them and prayers to them. Lots of love, light, and healing to their families. All right. Love you guys. I'll talk to you again soon. Y'all take care. Do something kind for somebody. It'll always come back to you. Bye for now.